Hello friends! I had the pleasure of teaching at Workshop Week this year, and the illustration we worked on included a ribbon banner. Now, I always find banners kind of tricky to draw, so I figured I'd share a step-by-step tutorial as well as a template you can use to make things even easier. If you'd like to use the template I made, you can click the link in the description to download the JPEG image. Once you've downloaded it, save it to the camera roll on your iPad, then in Procreate, go to the Actions menu, tap the plus sign, then tap Insert a Photo. Your camera roll will pop up, and then you can tap on the template image you saved. Now you can reduce the opacity on the template layer so that it's visible but not too distracting. As you can see, the banner is made of 3 shapes, which are numbered on the template, 1, 2, and 3. Each shape will be drawn on a different layer. Let's start with section 1, which is this long banner where the text will go. Switch to the monoline brush, and I've got mine set to around 20%. Create a new layer above the template, and if you're using the same palette I am, choose the first blue from the bottom row. For those of you who have the template, go ahead and trace the first shape labeled number 1. If you don't have the template, I'm going to show you how to draw this freehand. So you're going to start with a diagonal line, and now you need to make it slightly curved. So on the left side, you're going to want that line to curve upwards. And then as you go towards the right, the line will curve upwards again and then down slightly. And of course, you can erase as you go along so that you can get a good feel for what your shape is looking like, and make any adjustments you need to along the way. Now we're going to mirror this same shape below. So you're going to want to start with an upwards curve and then curve downwards. And again, you can move your canvas around to whatever direction makes it easier for you to draw those shapes. Now we're going to connect the 2 sides. You can either connect them with a straight line, or you can make that line a little bit curved. Do the same on the other side. Of course, if you opted for the straight line, you'll make it a straight line on both sides, or a curved line on both sides. So you should have a shape that looks similar to this. Now you can just drag and drop your color swatch to fill that shape. Once the shape is filled, if you see any areas that you need to clean up, you can go ahead and do that now. Now you're going to reduce the opacity on that layer to about 60% so that we can see what we're doing below it. Now you're going to want to create a new layer and then drag it below that banner layer that we just drew. Now we're going to draw the tails of the ribbon. Choose a slightly darker color. I'm using the second blue in the bottom row of my palette. And for those of you who have the template, go ahead and trace section 3. If you're drawing freehand, just follow along with me. So what you're going to do is to start around 1/4 of the way from the right edge of the banner. So around here, and you're going to just draw an arc that curves downwards. And you're going to want that line to fall around the center point of the banner. Then you're going to repeat that shape below it. Now do the same on the left side, but you're going to want the arc to curve upwards this time. So start about 1/4 of the way in from the edge and about halfway in the middle of the banner. Draw your arc that curves up and then repeat. Now on the outer edges, you're going to join these 2 lines with a little triangle shape. You can add a little bit of a curve to that shape if you'd like, and do the same here. Now on the inner edges, you're going to join those lines either with a straight line, or you can attach the 2 lines with a curve. I'm going to draw a curve. And then I'll go in and just clean up that shape. And do the same on this side. And then you can drag your color swatch to fill those two shapes with color. And once they're filled, it's a little bit easier to see where you need to clean up or adjust your shape a little. Now you're going to go and create a new layer above that section 3, the ribbon ends that we just drew. So you should now have 3 layers: the banner, the ribbon ends, and then this section 2, which will be sandwiched between. Then choose a color that's darker than the color you used for the ribbon ends. If you're using the template, go ahead and reduce the opacity on section 3, the ribbon ends layer, so that you can see the template below. And you can go ahead and trace section 2. If you're drawing freehand, you're going to start at the corner of section 1 of the long banner. Start at this corner and draw a wave shape and make sure it ends just beyond section 3. So your shape should look like that. And it'll go past the shape of the ribbon ends below. Now let's do that on the other side. Starting at this corner, just draw a wave shape and have it go past the ribbon ends. Now turn the opacity back up on section 3, the layer with the ribbon ends, and then you're going to make section 2 a clipping mask. And as you can see, that wave shape that you just drew will now be confined to the ribbon ends layer, so it's no longer sticking out. So now you're just going to increase your brush size a bit and manually fill those areas with color. All right, I'm going to turn the opacity back up on the first layer. And there you have your ribbon banner. Now you can just go in and clean up any misaligned areas. And I'm just using the eraser tool in the monoline brush. And that looks pretty clean, so that's fine. And as usual, if you'd like to keep your layers organized, you can select those 3 and group them, and I'll name this banner. And you can go ahead and turn your template layer off. And if you want to, you can add a little bit more dimension to this by including a little bit of shading in the folds of the ribbon. The easiest way to do this is to go to that section 2 layer and turn on Alpha Lock. Then choose the noise brush, which can be found in the materials section of the brush library. Choose an even darker color than the color you chose for that area in section 2. And you can just add a little bit of shading along the inside edges. And there's our final layout. If you'd like to learn more from me, you can check out the Classes tab on my website at giagraham.com, or you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon at I am Gia Graham. Thanks for watching.